Have you ever felt your heart race before you get up on stage to give a presentation? We're going to talk today about how to calm down before a performance. Now, this is something that I've had to perfect in myself. It's been hard, but I'm telling you, you can do it too. And I have some cool techniques and ideas, as well as some cool examples as to other people that have had this same challenge. And really, it's mostly about just rediverting your energy of anxiety and nervousness into a place of excitement for being on that stage. And so you're in good hands. I've been there, I've done that. I've been making a living as a speaker for almost a quarter of a century, and I'm in the Hall of Fame of speaking. And so I'm excited to tell you how I calm my nerves. I know some of these tips are going to help you too. So let's first talk about understanding presentation anxiety. This is very common. I mean, speaking is scary. Getting on stage to perform and sing or be an MC, whatever it might be that you've been asked to do, you might be feeling some serious stress, and that's very normal. Don't feel like you're some kind of different person because of it and nobody else feels that. Trust me, if you've ever been sitting on the stand before somebody has to get up and speak, trust me, every single person up there is feeling a level of nervousness and anxiety. And so just so you're aware, you're not alone in this. Everybody feels the same. The problem is that a lot of speakers get up on stage and announce that. And really that's not necessary because everybody knows that that's normal. But it's interesting when a speaker or a presenter gets on stage and faces their fear. Because some of the best performances of all time have come out of somebody being absolutely terrified before they take the stage. For example, one of my favorite examples would be Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand. Now, if you've never heard of those singers, you need to look them up because they're two of the greats of all time. But this was probably one of my favorite anxiety performance stories I've ever heard. You see, they had put together a song called You Don't Bring Me Flowers Anymore, but it had already been written and released by a solo artist. And then they decided to try it out as a duet. So what happened? They practiced it a little bit over the phone because they're busy, and then they landed in LA for the Grammys in 1980. One was on this side of the stage, one was on the other, and they sang as they walked toward the middle of the stage. Now, Barbra Streisand was absolutely terrified and nervous. Neil Diamond was concerned about how this would go as well, even though Barbra Streisand's one of the greatest singers of all time, and Neil Diamond was the guy, who's one of the great songwriters of all time and singers as well. As they come together, and you should Google this because it's a really interesting thing to see with knowing the backstory. They had never sung it publicly before, and now they're doing it in front of 100 million people on stage. I mean, it was over the top. But here's what happened. While they were singing, they got comfortable. They felt confidence in each other as they looked at one another. In fact, I found out that they even went to high school together. I didn't know that before researching this story for this video. But what was interesting is that she eventually reaches up and strokes his face. And he grabs her hand and he kisses it. It's unbelievable. It still gives me chills just thinking about how cool this was because I knew the backstory, that she was nervous, she was freaking out. And she took the stage and just completely created an epic moment. I mean, people don't even remember who won the Grammys that year, but they remember that performance because somebody of a legendary status took the stage even though she was nervous, and she created an epic moment with another amazing singer. And so these two legends came together, did something real special. I want you to think about for yourself how when you're feeling anxiety and nervousness, just remember even the legends feel it. You just have to get on stage and nail it. So let's talk about some unique techniques to relax and get ready to take the stage. First of all, there's mindful breathing techniques. There's all kinds like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there's other types of things. But I want you to just think about the mindfulness of breathing. Now, when you think about breathing, you're probably watching this video and you're probably barely breathing, right? I think that's what happens when we watch videos. We're just sitting there like watching and barely breathe. So breathe before you go on stage. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to be awesome. Yeah, affirmations, all these things, but breathing, allowing your body to feel the oxygen going in. This is an important piece of calming your nerves before you go on stage. I would recommend practicing breathing for maybe 2 minutes. You don't want to black out backstage by doing too much breathing if you haven't been breathing much, but just get used to it. Commit to breathing a little bit more before you go out on that stage, and you'll be great. It's going to be awesome. And I'd also recommend this. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That allows the air to go out more, because when we breathe in through our nose, we actually get more oxygen rather than breathing in through our mouth. Studies have shown, and it's true. Let's talk about visualization. I love the technique of visualization because you're thinking to yourself, okay, how can I succeed and how can I put myself in a place where I know I'm going to do awesome with this? You have to create that visual movie for yourself to say, I'm going to go out there and do awesome. So I'd love for you to sit backstage, imagine getting that standing ovation. Imagine people coming up to you afterwards and buying your book. Imagine people love you so much that at the side of the stage after you're done, there's a lineup of people waiting to get your business card because they want to book you for their event. These are really powerful techniques that you can use before you take the stage to visualize the success of what's going to happen, that your PowerPoints are going to click perfectly. If you added a song, or you're going to do a dance, you're going to play an instrument, or you're going to use a prop, everything's going to go well. Put yourself in a positive frame of mind. Visualize that it's going to be great. Spend 5 minutes before you take the stage while you're breathing. Oh yeah, I'm going to succeed. Visualization, it's good. Let's talk about physical grounding techniques. If you've ever tried this, it's pretty interesting. You take off your shoes and you go outside and you stand on the grass. If there's no grass around, it might hurt to stand on rocks, but dirt is awesome as well. Well, what does this do? I mean, scientifically it says that because we're a part of the world and the universe, and we're now connecting and grounding ourselves without the soles of our shoes disconnecting us from the ground, it's really an interesting practice to stand or to lie down on the grass and to feel of the energy of the earth. This is something I love to do. Even when I'm in my full suit ready to go out on stage, I'll take my socks and shoes off and go stand in the grass or in the snow. Yes, I've done that as well. That's a little bit kind of crazier, but I like the cold. And so I would encourage you to consider those types of things like grounding. There's a reason it's named that. Let's talk about power poses. You've heard about power poses. I mean, think of Wonder Woman. She stands with her arms on her side. It's the Wonder Woman pose. Yep, that's a power pose. Getting into this type of position allows you to feel like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Here we go, right? And so power posing is a powerful way to get started. How about progressive muscle relaxation? Have you ever tried that, where you flex certain muscles and you feel the muscle and you think to yourself, okay, I'm now going to focus on my biceps, and you just flex them. Then you release, and then you flex them again. It actually creates some interesting blood flow situations where you actually can change the blood flow in your body just through the energy of focusing on this. And so you can focus on your quads, your glutes, your hammies. You can even do push-ups or sit-ups backstage. That's an important thing that you could do if you wanted to get some confidence and energy and blood flowing really quickly. But I like to sometimes just flex my arms, pretend like I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger back there in the backstage. And it's a really cool thing to do. It's muscle relaxation, but it's also muscle contraction in order to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go from the top of my head all the way down. And you could even do things like thinking about your fingers or thinking about your toes, thinking about those different body parts as you go up and down your body. This just gets you into a nice frame of mind before you take the stage. Now, we've talked about visualization, but let's talk about affirmations and self-talk. I think that I've fallen into a bad habit myself where I've done so many speeches that I've forgotten the power of doing self-talk. And I found myself recently talking to somebody about something a little negative before I went on stage, just because I thought, well, I'm just going to go out there and I'll do what I normally do. But I realized while I was saying what I was saying backstage to my friend, that I was saying something negative before I'm about to go out on stage and try to infuse positivity amongst everyone. And so affirmations and self-talk really matter, obviously at all times in our lives, but especially before you go on stage. So I'd say do your best to think about what optimistic words you're saying to yourself. I'd even suggest that you turn off your phone completely, put it in airplane mode. If you're getting something that's a little negative, like a text or an email right before you go on stage, don't check Facebook and Instagram before you're taking the stage, because you want to feel positivity. Whatever it is that makes you feel positive, maybe playing some music or just saying something positive to yourself. All of these things work, inclusive of the visualization we've already talked about. The quickest way to calm down before a presentation is to be prepared. Yeah, the Boy Scouts are right. They've always said be prepared, and it's true. When you're prepared and you go to a presentation, you'll be way less nervous if you feel like you're prepared. So give that a shot. Make a promise to be prepared and not show up and wing it. I'd even recommend that you create simulated presentations. That means create something in front of a smaller audience to give that presentation. You could jump on a live stream on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere and just say, I'm going to do a live presentation right now. And that will actually allow you, before you get in front of the big audience in person, to say to yourself, I've already done this, so I feel good about it. Let's talk about lifestyle and habit changes. First of all, let's address healthy lifestyle choices. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do work very hard to have my body be fit and strong and eat well. And so I want you to think for yourself, maybe today's the day you start. When you get on stage, if you don't feel good about your appearance or how you're coming across because of something physical about yourself, then start today to say to yourself, I'm going to be a little more healthy. I'm not going to eat everything that presents itself, perhaps, or I'm going to stay away from certain things and only indulge in others. I want you to think about this as a real commitment to yourself. It's what I call the promise. So can you promise yourself that you will do what's best for you so that when you get on the stage, you don't feel nerves because you're feeling good about yourself? Making those habits and healthy lifestyle choices makes a big difference. I know that because I get, with my habits, I jump in an ice bath, I do a sauna, I go and I work out, I work on my body. All of those types of things makes a whole big difference to me and my nerves before I get on stage so that I feel good about myself. These things work, but it's a process. So don't worry if you're not there right now. I'm still working to make myself better, and so can you. And so I hope that this doesn't discourage you, but rather commit today to make healthy choices. The other thing I didn't say that I needed to is sleep. I'm not good at this. I don't sleep enough. And so before a presentation, I actually make sure that I get a good long night's sleep. In fact, lately, I've been doing a flight to the event the day before so that I can get at least 8 to 12 hours of sleep the night prior. This is a really transformative process for me because in the past I would just fly in on the red eye, do the speech, and then fly back. I mean, it was insane. It was really foolish, actually. A terrible night's sleep on a plane. Now I fly in a day prior, get a good night's sleep, do my workout, get a good walk in the sun, and then I do a better presentation. I'd also recommend you avoid stimulants. And this is a hard one because a lot of people need their caffeine or their coffee or their energy drinks, and I would just recommend that before you do a presentation, if you want to get rid of those jitters and that stuff, if you add caffeine to it, oh man, you're going to be a little bit over the top. At the same time, I'd also recommend the night before, remember, don't eat or drink certain things. People that drink too much alcohol the night before a presentation, they wake up with a headache. Oh man, not good. I know I've also done something real bad for myself. I ate buffalo wings the night before a presentation. Bad idea. Spicy food keeps you up all night. Not a good thing. So think about it. What am I eating? What am I drinking before I take the stage and even the night before, because it'll affect the way you sleep. Remember, every great speaker started at a place where they were probably quite nervous before they took the stage, and now you have techniques, tricks, tips, things I've used. I hope it's been helpful for you. And if you want to put in the comments what has been helpful that I've said, or maybe something I've missed that you use to calm your nerves and get on that stage and be awesome, I'd love to know what they are. I'd also love to invite you to our community, which is theliftofflab.com. Cheryl Knowlton runs this, and she is one of the greatest speakers there is and an incredible coach. It's speakers from all around the world that are looking to get better at presenting and equally finding out techniques and ways to make it so they're not nervous to take the stage. I hope you'll join us at liftofflab.com.